Dupuy and Rosario from interpretation. Can we get a mic check?
Yes, Clara, Vietnamese interpreter. Can you hear me well?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is a Spanish interpreter.
Thank you. We can hear you both clearly.
Well, good afternoon. Today is June 18th, Thursday. Welcome to our third and final day of our budget hearing. Let's call this meeting to order. If I could please have our clerk call the roll.
Supervisor Abikogo?
Here.
Supervisor Yoon?
Here.
Supervisor Ellenberg? Vice President Arenas?
Here.
And President Lee?
Good afternoon, present.
We have 5 present.
And clerk, would you please read the interpretation announcement?
If we could please have the interpreters translate the following into Spanish, then into Vietnamese. If you are in chambers and require Spanish or Vietnamese interpretation, interpretation devices are available at the back of chambers. The deputy clerk can assist you with setup. Translation is also available in Zoom using the interpretation button. Additionally, as a gentle reminder for public commenters, staff, and those on the dais, please speak clearly and directly into the microphone to improve the accuracy of translation.
Para la gente que se encuentra dentro de la sala, se les recuerda que hay disponible el servicio de interpretación simultánea en español y en vietnamita. Pueden encontrar los dispositivos en la parte de atrás y un miembro del personal les puede ayudar en la configuración. Pueden también para las personas que están conectadas en Zoom, pueden tener acceso a la interpretación por medio del botón de interpretación en forma de globo que se encuentra en la parte de abajo de la barra de Zoom. Y como recordatorio se le avisa a la audiencia y al personal hablar claramente en el micrófono para tener una buena interpretación.
Nếu quý vị ở trong hội trường và cần phiên dịch tiếng Việt hay tiếng Tây Ban Nha, chúng tôi có sẵn dụng cụ phiên dịch ở cuối phòng. Nhân viên trợ lý sẽ giúp quý vị để sử dụng. Để nghe phiên dịch qua Zoom, quý vị bấm vào nút Interpretation phiên dịch. Xin nhắc nhở thêm, những quý vị phát biểu tại hội trường, những nhân viên và những vị trên bục, hãy nói chậm và rõ ràng vào micro để giúp phiên dịch được chính xác hơn. Xin cảm ơn.
Come on, thank you. So now it's our Pledge of Allegiance. I would like to ask Vice President Arenas to please lead us to the pledge.
Please stand if you're able. Ready, begin. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, then we move to item 66. And first is we will hear item 66 to receive any updates from the administration. Like we did earlier in the 2 budget hearings, we're going to hear all the public comment for all of today's items, 66 to 68 together, and that includes our budget inventory proposal items as well. So clerk, how many speakers do we have for items 66 to 68?
Just take a look. Doesn't appear any more are coming down. I have a total of 11 cards in chambers and 7 hands raised in Zooms for 18. Looks like we're holding at 7 on Zoom, so a total of 18.
18. Can we do 1 minute each?
1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll begin with in-chamber speakers. Please approach the podium as I call your name. I have Megaldia Rodriguez, Andrea Nicolette, Maria Beltran, Samantha Rojas, Brian, Gia Pham, Ana Cortez, and we'll pause there.
Yes, please go start.
With the YMCA of Silicon Valley, Mount Madonna YMCA. Thank you, Sylvia Arenas. We appreciate you so much in South County for recommending this request for funding and for all you do for the families and youth in South County. This program will help expand equitable access to organized sports for Gilroy youth, including those who might otherwise face barriers to participate, helping build confidence, developing foundational skills, and create pathways for future success through positive youth engagement and physical activity. Thank you for your support, and to the Board of Supervisors for your consideration.
Mi nombre es Migdalia Rodríguez y hoy hablo como defensora de la salud y del subcomité de la justicia presupuestaria de Latinas contra el Cáncer. Hoy quiero pedirles a ustedes la gran apoyo para los artículos del inventario 169, 195, 271 y 382. Estas inversiones respaldan la cumbre de cáncer, las capacitaciones a promotoras de salud y los programas de vivienda con sus recetas médicas. También los recursos preventivos en el sur del condado de Santa Clara. Estos programas nos ayudan a que las familias que servimos no enfrenten el cáncer solas. Por eso solicito a ustedes, de manera respetuosa, votar por estos artículos del inventario. Gracias por escucharnos y por escuchar a nuestra comunidad.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es
Oh,
María
wait,
Beltrán.
one sec, momentito, por transfusión. Gracias.
I'm sorry, board. I'm having, I guess, half because it was cut, the internet, so I'm going to deliver what I was able to hear. And 169, 195, 271, and 382, which are back in different programs.
President Lee, can
including
I
Sure, one
just,
second.
can I just propose that we redo the public comment so the translator
The
can
last
hear
one?
the whole comment?
Yeah, okay. Can you, yeah, por favor? No, okay, un momentito. La última, sí. Por una vez, porque hay problema de tecnología. Sí.
And while, through the chair, while we have the last speaker approach, I just want to confirm we are now closed with taking
That's right.
public comment
Correct. We're
cards.
not taking more new members, but
Thank you.
perdona, por favor, una vez, otra vez, sí.
¿Es ok?
Gracias.
Muy buenas tardes, mi nombre es Migdalia, soy defensora de la salud y hago parte del Comité de Justicia Presupuestaria de Latinas contra el Cáncer. Hoy quiero apoyar a ustedes y solicitar de manera respetuosa por los artículos del inventario 169, 195, 271 y 382. Estas inversiones respaldan la cumbre de cáncer, los programas de capacitación a promotoras de salud, los programas de vivienda con receta médica y los recursos preventivos en el sur del condado. Estos programas nos ayudan que a las personas que servimos no enfrenten el cáncer solos. Por favor, solicito a ustedes que voten por estos artículos del inventario y nos ayuden a seguir buscando la prevención en nuestra comunidad. Gracias por escucharnos.
Gracias. Okay, let's
Thank you,
try.
thank you very much. Good afternoon, board. My name is Magdala, and I am a health defender. And I am also a member of the Justice Budget Committee and also part of Latinas contra el Cáncer. I would like you to vote in favor of Article 169, 195, 271, and 382, because these are backing everything related to cancer. Also, the Cancer Summit, training promotoras for health issues, and also housing programs that are including health recipes or pharmacy recipes. And those are preventive programs that are in the Santa Clara County. So please, we would like you to, we would like your support, because people need, these programs are also very helpful and for letting people know that they are not alone for facing cancer. So we would like respectfully to request you to back these articles in order to have a good prevention program. Thank you very much.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María y muchas gracias por el espacio que me dan para escucharme. Mi nombre es María Beltrán, soy y pertenezco de Latinas contra el Cáncer, el grupo de Comité Defensoras de Justicia del Presupuestario. Yo estoy aquí para abogar el financiamiento del artículo 169, 195, 271 y 382. Estos programas son muy importantes para los pacientes con cáncer, para nuestra comunidad y luego, por ejemplo, cuando están enfermos necesitan pues sus medicamentos, viviendas y uno de los artículos del inventario para el inicio, para poder seguir abogando y aprender más cómo poder ayudar a nuestra comunidad en sus necesidades que necesitan doctor, vivienda, y también es muy importante saber escucharlos, saber qué es lo que necesitan para poder apoyarlos a que salgan adelante y sus procesos de medicamentos. Gracias.
Good afternoon, board. My name is Maria Beltran, and I would like to thank you for this space and be able to listen to me. I am part of Latinas contra el Cáncer and Justice Defender also, and I would like you to support Articles 169, 195, 271, 382, because these are programs that are very helpful for people with cancer and also very helpful for the community. We are able to help for health issues and housing. And also there is one article in the inventory that is very helpful because it is allowing us to learn more, help the communities based on their needs. For example, whenever they need a doctor, whenever they need help for housing, and also it is very helpful because we are able to listen in what they need support. So we would like you to have to fully support this, and also this is very helpful for the health of the community. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Samantha, and I am a lead patient organizer at Latinas Contra Cancer. I also serve as the lead for the Defensora's Budget Justice Subcommittee. I want to begin by thanking each one of you for continuing to support the inventory items and for considering these important items. Programs like these truly make a meaningful difference in the communities we serve. The patients we work with are often going through the most difficult moments of their lives. A cancer diagnosis doesn't just impact someone's health, it affects their housing, finances, mental well-being, and their ability to navigate a very complex healthcare system. Thank you again for your leadership and for your continued commitment to our communities. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ana, and I am with the Defensora's Budget Justice Subcommittee for Latinas Contra Cancer. I would like to thank you for considering us in this budget and would love for you to support inventory items number 169, 195, 271, and 382. These resources are crucial that they reach our community, especially during these times when healthcare is under attack by this administration. Please support these important articles to continue providing healthcare resources to our communities in San Jose and hopefully South County. Like Gilroy, thank you again for your leadership.
I'll continue calling names of in-chamber speakers. We have Alalia, Carmen, Fanny, Alina, I believe that's Alina, and Dante.
Okay, before the next speaker starts, I just want to say, if you're a representative organization that has a grant on the list, the expectation is that the grant will be approved. So you do not need multiple people to speak on the issue. I just want to make sure that your message has been given. It's okay for you to not speak. One of the ways you could actually just show your support is just instead of clapping, which we don't want people to do, or booing, you could just raise your hand and just shake it. So that way you don't even need to speak, but we got your message loud and clear. Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors. Thank you to Supervisor Dong for the recommendation item 259 of $3,700 to Housing Choices in order to support the hygiene, recreation, and ultimately belonging of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Many of these residents have to prioritize their rent and, in effect, don't have money for toothpaste, towels, cleaning supplies, and we are seeing this huge need for hygiene efforts. So I think this money is going to be very important for this community. So thank you so much.
Is your name Gia? To the speaker, is your name Gia? Okay, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Eulalia García y soy parte de Defensoras de Latinas contra el Cáncer. Me gustaría primeramente agradecerles por su tiempo y me gustaría que nos apoyaran con los artículos que hemos estado promocionando aquí. Yo soy una persona que estoy sobreviviendo por el apoyo de esta organización. Me han apoyado en cuestión de mi salud. Ahorita estoy en una espera de una operación de hernia y me gustaría que lo apoyaran. Muchísimas gracias.
Good afternoon, board. My name is Eulalia Garcia, and I am part of Latinas contra el Cáncer, and I would like to thank you for your time. I would like to ask for your support for articles that we have been promoting, and I myself am a survivor, and I have been supported by the organization regarding my health. And just to let you know, currently I'm waiting for a hernia surgery. So I would like you to have your support. Thank you very much.
Board of Supervisors, my name is Dante Lartique. I am not going to talk about the support you're already given specifically from Supervisor Betty Young, but our organization, as you know, federal cuts are happening, is facing a $1 million budget cut. We're going to have 2 of our contracts cut, and I am challenged with what are we going to do with 33 young people that we're housing? And so I'm coming to you all to hopefully see if you all can reach out to our organization and support us in trying to figure out a solution so 33 young people do not become homeless again. I will look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.
And can you restate your organization, please?
My organization is Raising the Bar.
Raising the Bar. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Alina Yin, and I am the CEO of Dreaming Collaborative. And I'm really honored to be here among all the incredible organizations and being thankful for the generous support of the county today. I would especially like to thank Supervisor Ellenberg for her support of our civics program. I know that at a time in today when we're watching our democracy being dismantled on the federal level, that it is often our local governments that are stepping in. And I say this all the time when I'm teaching, is local government is both the front lines and the last lines of defense in our democracy, and I'm incredibly thankful for the county's support in this today, and I look forward to being of service to the county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All names in chambers have been called. We'll move to our Zoom speakers. Our first speaker on Zoom is Lorena Chavez. Please accept the unmute. Zoom speaker, Lorena Chavez. We see your mic is unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Good afternoon, President Lee, Vice President Arenas, and County Supervisors. My name is Lorena Chavez. I'm with Teach for America Bay Area, and I'm speaking in support of Budget Inventory Item 391. First and foremost, I want to thank Supervisor Arenas for her investment in our students and our future. Thank you for supporting access to learning opportunities through Ignite High Dosage Tutoring in the Morgan Hill Unified School District. The investment will bring services to students that serve to a school that serves migrant community students that have both significant needs and tremendous potential. The pandemic reversed years of progress in many of our most underserved communities, and we continue to see the impact of learning today. Through this investment, Ignite will focus on 3rd grade reading proficiency, and we know that by the end of 3rd grade, that if students can read well and proficiently, they are set up for academic success and are most likely to reach economic opportunity and mobility.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Meredith Hurley. Please accept the unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Meredith Hurley. I live and vote in District 4. I want to urge the board to allocate the full $8 million from the Federal Response Reserve to Immigration Services to sustain the work of protecting our immigrant community. I'd like to share the words of my friend and organizer, Guillermo Medina Reyes, who's currently detained at Cal City Detention Center because we need to remember our people's stories. He says, during my incarceration at Cal City, I've seen firsthand how ICE takes advantage of immigrant lives. They develop a system that's setting up detainees to lose their immigration cases and making it impossible for them to have a fair trial in their immigration proceedings. Those of us blessed to find a pro bono attorney, it's only after having been incarcerated for long periods of time because of the wait list. Board of Supervisors, please remember his story, and let's meet the moment and make sure to allocate the full $8 million for services.
The next speaker is Mark Fischler. Please accept the unmute.
Hello, Supervisors. Mark Fischler with Parents Helping Parents. I want to express my sincere gratitude to all of you and your staff for proposing PHP for 2 inventory items. I'd especially like to thank Supervisors Arenas and Young for their leadership and support in recommending these investments. Item 304 will support family education and access to critical safety net services. Item 394 will support the creation of an early childhood disabilities roadmap to help families navigate resources and services for young children with disabilities. The county has long been a leader in supporting people with disabilities and their families, and because of your partnership, thousands of local families have been able to access information, training, support, and advocacy at no cost. On behalf of the nearly 8,000 families PHP serves each year, thank you very much for your continued commitment to ensuring that people with disabilities can thrive in our community, and we would greatly appreciate your support by voting yes on these 2 inventory items. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker in the queue is Stephanie Rocha. Please accept the unmute, Stephanie.
Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. My name is Stephanie Rocha, and I own and operate a small farm in San Martin, part of Supervisor Arenas' District 1. I also serve as president of the South County Farms Association, a new nonprofit that began as a grassroots effort by agricultural operators to preserve the remnant of agriculture in South Santa Clara County. This means supporting small farms, wineries, equestrian centers, and the rural economy in general. On behalf of the South County Farms Association, thank you for your generous support. The proposed grant will go a long way in providing further support, education, and sustainability for the local agricultural community, and in turn, food security for our county. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Kim Engelhard. Please accept the unmute.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kim Engelhart. I am the president of the Wineries of Santa Clara Valley for the 5th year, representing more than 30 wineries throughout Santa Clara County. I respectfully ask for your support for our grant application because it's an investment in one of Santa Clara County's important assets, our agricultural heritage and the small businesses that help sustain it. Our wineries are family-owned businesses that steward agricultural land, create local jobs, and provide unique experiences that attract visitors from throughout the Bay Area and beyond. Funding for wine trail signage, regional marketing, and long-term economic development will help increase awareness of Santa Clara Valley as a wine destination and encourage visitors to explore not just our wineries, but also our restaurants, hotels, farms, and other local retailers. Supporting wineries also helps preserve working agricultural lands by creating viable economic opportunities that keep farmland in agricultural production for future generations. This is far more than an investment in wineries. It's an investment in rural economic vitality, tourism, and preserving.
Thank you. The next speaker is June Mallory. June, please accept the unmute. Zoom speaker, June Mallory. Please accept the unmute. Okay, we'll come back to June. And we'll go to our next speaker, Colin Bruce. Colin, can you please accept the unmute? You may begin your comments.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Supervisors, for allowing me to speak. I run Community Cycles of California. Would like to thank all of you for providing support to all of the organizations on this list and for helping us be a safety net for the community. I'd specifically like to thank Supervisor Arenas and Supervisor Young for supporting me in being able to keep homeless, low-income people's bikes safe and reliable by going out into the community and doing service where the people are who need the help. Thank you very much, and I sincerely appreciate all your support.
Thank you. We will try Speaker June Mallory again. If you wish to speak, please accept the unmute, and you may begin your comments. June,
Yes, can you hear me?
yes, you may begin.
Great. Hi, I'm sorry about that. I just had signed off to make more time for other speakers. I am the Chief Advancement Officer of Gilroy Gardens, and I just wanted to speak today in support of Agenda Item 67, the grant funding proposal that Supervisor Arenas has brought forward for us. I have to apologize. I'm new in the area and I'm a little bit just learning names. At Gilroy Gardens, I want to make sure that we're speaking out and letting people know that we are more than just a family destination. It's definitely more than just a theme park here. This is a place for children and families to connect with nature, science, technology, and the arts through hands-on learning experiences. We want to grow our STEAM-based educational programming and reach out to more young people in this immediate area that would not normally be able to afford.
Thank you, June, for your comments. That concludes our speakers for the items on today's agenda.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and close the public speaking portion of this today. And now we'll go ahead and turn this over to James to see if you have any updates to share at this time for item 66.
Sure. Thank you, members of the board. We are at our final day of our budget hearing. I will just quickly give an overview related to item 67 and item 68. Sorry, not 67, item 66 and item 68. Item 66, we have our first report back. There were a number of informational report backs requested by the board. You will see further ones continuing to roll out over the successive weeks. We do have them all tracked. And you can rest assured that we will be following up on each of those pieces that came up throughout the discussion here at the budget hearings. Item 68, which has multiple parts, represents the actual adoption of the budget itself, along with the implementing salary ordinances. They'll be on for a second reading at Tuesday's board meeting. They reflect all of the revised recommendations that have been approved by the board along the way throughout the hearing, with no other updates or further modifications. We're happy to answer questions. Item 67, I'll go ahead and just introduce that as well, but that includes all of the inventory items that were previously referred by the board, with no additional changes beyond those that were discussed when the items were originally heard at budget workshop. So with that, I think we're happy to take any questions from the board.
Yes, Supervisor Bacoga.
Thank you, President Lee. No questions. Just I didn't know where to say this, but wanted to make sure I express my deepest thanks to our entire organization, county executive, our county budget director, and all staff for the hard work that was put into this creation of this budget, a balanced budget. It was certainly a very challenging one, and I know that it will continue to be challenged, but very much appreciate the information that was provided. I felt like our office and myself, we have a better handle on things, and I really appreciate the work in providing information requested and more transparency. I know we still have to continue to work on that too, but I think we made some great progress this year. So again, I know it's a challenging time, but I'm very grateful to everyone for the collaboration and getting us to this point. So thank you so much. And I'm happy happy to move the
Yes.
items if
Yes, sure. Yeah,
I
please.
may. May I move all three?
Yes, yeah, I believe
So
we
I'd
could do
like
that,
to
right,
make
Tony?
a
Yeah.
motion to move items 66, 67, and 68. Thank you.
I'm happy to second and have just an additional comment
Please.
when appropriate now. Thank you. You beat me to the appreciation of all of our staff and community, Margaret. So thank you for setting this up. I want to add a little bit more as we close this budget cycle. I want to recognize the truly extraordinary effort that produced this updated outlook. I think across departments we saw really thoughtful and deliberative action that required really hard decisions. And this, to me, was a proof point of what we can control in unpredictable times. And as hard as this budget is, it is worth elevating our wins. So I want to share a few that stood out to me. In SSA and DFCS, the one-time $775,000 investment in our community-based partners serving children and families, along with the creation of a new auditing and oversight function, underscores our commitment to child safety and to ensuring families can access the services that support their well-being. I was also very pleased that administration prioritized services for survivors of intimate partner violence by securing additional funding for the Office of Gender-Based Violence and reducing the contract reduction targets for emergency domestic violence shelters from 19% to 10%. Avoiding that worst outcome is a significant achievement and a reflection of focused, values-driven leadership. Just in the last several weeks, we have seen 3 deaths as a result of intimate partner violence. So it is entirely clear that this work must continue. We need a culture that shifts those outcomes where we do not have assaulters and murderers destroying the lives of their partners and significant others. In public health, we preserved all positions and maintained every violence prevention program, which was truly a notable accomplishment in a year marked by uncertainty. In our Office of Immigrant Relations, legal services for our immigrant communities will be maintained at current levels with an additional $1.3 million allocated to our federal response fund to ensure that we have the flexibility to provide timely services to the community. In our hospital system, of course, we are deepening our commitment to Regional Medical Center, growing the daily census to 185 patients and expanding vital services like the NICU, again, ensuring that families can access the care they trust right in their community. So many of the pressures we faced were shaped by forces outside of our control. Some of the most consequential challenges required sustained advocacy from local organizations, community leaders, and residents across the county and the state of California. And that advocacy really mattered. While the governor's May revision proposed $0 for public hospitals, the legislature included $250 million statewide. The governor's revised proposed $0 for indigent care. The legislature allocated $125 million. And while the governor did propose $87 million for eligibility workers, the legislature increased that amount to $442 million. The governor wanted just $500 million for counties working to end and prevent homelessness. The legislature countered with $900 million. Legislators also pushed back against detrimental IHSS changes and an unrealistically small asset limit for recipients. These wins, of course, have their limits. They are not certain until the legislature has reached a negotiated budget with the governor. And and not everything I had hoped would be advocated for made it even to the legislature's final package. I was disappointed not to see progress on behavioral health funding, but I am encouraged that the County Office of Education and school districts are expanding Medi-Cal billing capacity to strengthen school-based behavioral health services, ensuring our youth have access to mental health support they need. I do believe that we've stabilized services and programs to the greatest extent possible. Our next responsibility is to strengthen the systems that determine how effectively this budget performs. Procurement improvements rolling out in the months ahead, paired with clearer reporting and more consistent feedback loops, should give us better visibility into where dollars are going and whether they are delivering the outcomes we expect. This process has been, as I've said before, exhausting, frustrating, and at times just deeply demoralizing. But I also truly feel hope. Some of that hope really exploded yesterday, listening to the advocates speaking up, showing up, speaking out, and reminding us how much good we've been able to do and will do again, whether partnering with San Jose State to expunge criminal records that block access to education, housing, and employment, or funding organizations that support children and families navigating county systems. But we are not out of the woods yet. Our services remain at risk, and while I believe we've preserved what we could, I think the work in the year ahead will require continued vigilance and collective voices. We have to continue to build trust, improve performance, and align our resources with the priorities of our residents. And as we move past this point, we must keep making our voices heard here and in Sacramento and in Washington, D.C. We have to keep showing that what we are doing is working and staying transparent about where we need to go next. Really just endless gratitude to our administration, to our 24,000 employees, to all of our community-based organization partners, to leaders and advocates and organizers. All of you make what we do possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Supervisor Young, please.
Thank you. Thank you to my colleagues for the really beautiful and eloquent words to land this budget. And I see OBA in the back there. Thank you, team, for being here. Thank you for all your hard work. I have some questions specifically for David Hebner, if David's in the room.
He is.
Okay. Hi, David. So just one of the very severe realities of this budget is that our county employees will be receiving or have been receiving notices regarding their positions either being potentially eliminated and then with the passing of this budget potentially restored. So for the sake of our valued employees, David, can you share what happens next after today once we approve the budget for our employees who may be impacted by the decisions?
Thank you, Supervisor Jung and President Lee, Vice President Arenas, Board of Supervisors. It's good to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity because there's a lot happening, obviously, with the impacts when there are filled position deletions, which we know there are filled position deletions during this cycle, and so our team is working on that. And so I appreciate the opportunity to tell you a little bit about what's happening and also what we've done to build up to this moment. So in terms of what's happening now, right now, for SEIU represented employees who are impacted, they're currently going through a bidding process this week, which means that based on seniority, they can select opportunities that are available. For other impacted employees, they'll be finding out next week what their landing spots are. When they do find out where they're landing, those communications will include their current supervisor, their receiving supervisor, as well as the department coordinators to try to ensure as smooth a transition as possible. In parallel, we're working with our labor partners, receiving requests for them. We're considering those. Some of those requests we get adds to more work on our end, but we know that's an important part of the process. So we're engaging actively with all of our labor partners that have impacted members. And then in terms of what's next, in terms of timeline, for people who are impacted, their last day in their current positions will be July 5th. Their first day in their new position will be July 6th. So that's sort of what's happening now and what to expect next. I just want to share a little bit of context of what we've done building up to this moment. One of the things that I've been framing up to the team is that this is a period of incredible uncertainty, right? We don't know what's happening at the state level and at the federal level, and we're very impacted by it. And the human mind craves certainty, and that creates a lot of difficulty, I think, for our employee base. And we knew we couldn't provide that certainty, so what we've leaned into is trying to provide a lot of information. So over the last few months, we launched a new website and a new initiative around the theme of navigating change together. And this website that now has had over 4,000 unique visitors and 12,000 total visits, so that's maybe about a little under a fifth of the workforce, has been a place where we've shared resources about the different processes that are playing out, about the budget process, what happens when there are filled position deletions, support resources for employees who are feeling stress in this environment. And that's been an opportunity for us to try to get information out there. In parallel, we've also leaned into some of the feedback that we got along the way of sharing information in different formats. So we've actually been trying out a lot more video, interactive content, workflows, as well as other support resources to help people navigate these turbulent times. So those are some of the things that we've done through the Navigating Change Together resource, and we'll continue to be doing that and getting more content up there. So those are some of the things that we're currently working on.
Thank you, David, for that context and also for highlighting the next steps. I'll just be very direct about this. If someone has a concern or grievance or feel that they understood themselves to be different on the seniority, I don't know, hierarchy or timeline, right, related to their position elimination, what pathways do they follow? What happens then?
Yeah, so they obviously should reach out to their union, and the unions all have the information as well, so I encourage them to do so. They can also reach out to our central team at ESA, and they have that information as well. If you all are hearing from people, we actually have also provided you all with a packet of information, including a single point of contact for you to reach out to in case you're hearing from folks and you feel like they've come up against the wall. We provided you with those resources and are happy to provide them again if that would be helpful. But those would be the key avenues for them to reach out to in case they still have any questions or concerns that have come up.
Thank you, David. Those are my questions. I'll certainly follow up offline if any additional issues come up. And the packets were really helpful, especially with the singular point of contact to be able to do a warm handoff for. Thank you. And again, want to thank staff, the administration, James. I would say that, how do I say this without sounding not the way I want it to be? I really appreciate you. This budget was a hard budget, and it was a lot smoother than I had prepared myself for. And I know that you were working through the clock, around the clock, with your team to make as many pieces fit as possible, stretching wherever we could and turning $1 into $5 wherever we can. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Vice President Rennes.
Thank you. I'm also going to start off with a lot of gratitude for everyone, either whether you're with the numbers and you made those numbers work for us, or if you were up here on the dais and leading the charge in the departments. I know it's a difficult thing to ask everyone to tighten up the belt and then do more. And it is just as hard for our families to do the same. And we've demonstrated that we are doing, we're mirroring what we know and understand our families to do. And so I think in that spirit, we need to move into this next fiscal year knowing that we don't have the same resources, we don't have the same luxury of services and programs, and potentially next year we'll even have less. And so knowing that and understanding that are maybe two different things. So I'm really grateful that you had, David, that navigating change together, because as people move through changes, we all get nervous, right? We want to know what is around the corner. That's our brain is just set up that way. So I think that was just absolutely helpful. I do think that we need to figure out a path and a reporting path. And James, you and I talked about this. I think that you were going to provide an update to the board about all of the changes that are happening within some of these departments and how this domino effect is being created out of seniority, and we understand that that's part of those contracts. And part of the benefit of the contracts is something that we already agreed to, but that creates changes for folks, and as unstable as that is, that's part of the agreement that we've all had. But it doesn't mean that it's less difficult for folks. And so I just want to ask that we have a follow-up to understand, where did the dominoes land exactly, if that's...
Yeah, and we will provide that report to the board that shows ultimately where people then moved, how many were same classification transfers, and how many ended up in different places. So we will be providing that report to the board.
Thank you. And I would like to ensure that in that report, if there's anybody who needed to, I don't want to call it a demotion, but if there was any classification that wasn't parallel to what they had.
It will show that, yeah.
And that needed to go into a different classification, that I think that's also important for us to just understand as well. And then to be aware that that's something that might happen not only this year, but potentially next year, and probably at a greater impact. Or maybe not, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a governor next year that will take a look at the safety net services of the counties throughout the state and behave differently. We'll see how that plays out. So everybody, please go to their ballot in November and ensure that you make the choice that you think will render some of these outcomes. I want to thank you, Susan, for that perspective of the greater system. Thank you. I think sometimes that every day we fracture these conversations by, well, as you have seen, and we don't get to comprehensively see some of the goods that, and some of the investments that we have made, and some of the saves, if you will, that I think has happened because of our conversations or because of the priorities of the board. And I think I finally feel a little closer to saying that our budget reflects the priorities of the board. I do think that we still need a priority setting process for this board, especially in this upcoming year, because we are going to have to be very hyper-focused about the kinds of priorities that we want administration to focus on, and to then have that investment reflected in the budget. And so not only will we ask folks to bear down with us in terms of tightening up this belt, but we ourselves will also have to take that on by ensuring that we have priorities that are clear and consistent, and of course can evolve over time, but that are also in the same spirit of all of the systems changes that are happening. So that'll be my commitment to this upcoming year, is to continue with the focus of the priorities that I currently have, that hopefully next year when we come together for priority setting, we'll collectively show this county what our priorities are as a board, and ensure that we have a budget process that takes us there for this upcoming year. I do have one last comment question, as I know that item 66 didn't post until a little bit ago, and so I just want to once again highlight the School Link Services efforts that are being made. There we have, I think 32, right? We have 32 school districts.
Yeah, I think it's
James?
32 or 33. I
There-
keep forgetting exactly how many, but it's in that range, and 2 of them are one school districts.
You're better memory than mine. But out of those, we currently only have MOUs, I believe, with 12 of them. And so I think that means that only 17, let me take a step back. 17 school districts have the ability of standing a fee schedule that we talked about that could replace the deletion of the 8 million that we had, which means that there's still plenty of other school districts that need our support there. And while I agree with the 17 that are here on the list that I think are probably the ones that stand out the most, I think this fee schedule was meant to benefit all of the students, irregardless of income. And so I think our work continues to be underway to ensure that those remaining school districts have the same ability to have a fee schedule system within their
They do, Supervisor, and we can provide a report that includes all the districts. The 17 that were listed are because those are the districts that currently have the sunsetting SBEI program, which is
Right,
not currently in
yes.
all the districts. So that's why you're only seeing the 17, but all districts can participate in the fee schedule. So we can provide the information on the status for all districts, including those that were not a participant with the prior program.
Right. It's just a lot more effort since these 17 have been walking with us
Right.
and receiving the benefit of our support. Those others that haven't, it will be a lot more difficult for them, and I don't understand what their personnel implications are or impacts are, so they might have less personnel. I just don't want any of those to fall through the cracks in terms of behavioral health, since this system is the one that's replacing our support. And then that really is it for me. I just wanted to highlight that piece. As we move forward, I think in the same way that we're all stressed about budget, families are stressed about budgets. And when families are stressed, the children will feel it. And they will feel it either through conversations that they overhear at the dinner table or in the family room, living room, or as they sleep in a car or at a shelter. There needs to be no conversation. They understand where their family is at. But those stress levels will increase for our children, and that means that they won't be able to be focused in the same way as before to learn, to thrive, and to have the same opportunities as those kiddos who may not have the same disadvantages as them. And so it's one of the reasons why I focus on behavioral health, because it could be something that could make a difference for our children, as well as obviously our child welfare system needs to be there to hold those children as much as we can. And Supervisor Ellenberg, you mentioned those 3 deaths that were related to domestic violence. There's 3 that happen to be in my district. And that is also, of course, a sign of stress for those families that elevates to the point of while and so the same can be said about the death of the children that have been in our system. And so while we may not be able to provide behavioral health services for everyone, we have that opportunity and we can't pass it up. So anyways, I just want to end by saying that the same stress that our families have, we have, and we need to be cognizant of ensuring that we contribute to our problems by offering solutions, and that is what I propose, I hope, to do in this upcoming year. so that we can ensure that we go through this as easily as possible. And so last thing I just want to say is thank you to our clerk of the board, Curtis, as well as all of your team. Thank you so much. I know the inventory grants are really important to us, but I know administratively they must be a big headache, and it's a lot of effort on your part and your team's part. And so thank you, Tina, Dylan, and the entire clerk board, as well as Juliana, Adrian, everybody who contributed. I apologize if I left anybody out, but thank you so much for all the really wonderful work. And of course, the last piece is thank you, everybody from the budget, for your Herculean efforts to make sure that we got this across the finish line. Thank you so much. And I'll do this myself loudly. Thank you.
Okay, we have a vote and we have a second. Tony, can we just take a vote now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right, let's go take a vote.
Okay, and that was a motion by Supervisor Abrikoga, seconded by Supervisor Ellenberg to approve and adopt the items 66, 67, and 68. Supervisor Abrikoga?
Aye.
Supervisor Young?
Yes.
Supervisor Ellenberg?
Yes.
Vice President Arenas?
Yes.
And President Lee?
Heck yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. And James, go ahead.
Thank you, members of the board. I just wanted to make some very brief concluding comments as we close the budget hearing. First, want to express gratitude to every member of the Board of Supervisors. It is very difficult to face so many needs in the community, and I know you have to stare those down and interact with the program, services, and constituents who depend on the work of the county organization every day in all sorts of forums. And when we have to bring forward a budget with $787 million in a gap to close, that makes that job that's challenging in a good year so much more challenging. And you have shown steadfast leadership, including by placing Measure A on the ballot and taking swift emergency action. That's made a very real difference, because this budget would look very different without that critical revenue. And taking bold action to help ensure that we do have a balanced budget that takes the actions we need to take as an organization to deal with what is in front of us as we move into another set of challenging years ahead. Although I certainly agree that we hope the new gubernatorial administration will bring some good news for us. I also want to express tremendous gratitude, recognize the whole OBA team, our budget director, Chief Operating Officer, ESA, and their team. There's many, many folks in ESA who have worked very hard, and not just during the budget process, but throughout the year with the hiring process to help make sure the impacts on our staff are minimized. To our department heads and their staffs, who are the ones we depend on to bring forward the best ideas that they have to help deal with the budget realities, but in a way that minimizes impacts on services and, to the greatest extent possible, identifies ways to do things better and differently and serve those we are here to serve. And to our many, many, many partners, labor organizations, community-based organizations, our 24,000 staff, who day in and day out are committed to the work of our county organization and the service that we provide the nearly 2 million residents of Santa Clara County. It is harder when resources are limited, but the dedication and commitment to that mission is unwavering, and we will not let the federal government dictate to us what services we provide. We will continue to do everything we can to ensure our doors remain open to those most in need in our community. That is our bedrock commitment as a county organization. This budget reflects that commitment. We have very difficult work in front of us, but it is work we will tackle with vigor, and it is work we will tackle remaining true to that commitment of service to our community. So thank you so much. And thank you again to the board for your leadership through these difficult fiscal times.
Well, thank you, James. Before we adjourn today, I just want to take a moment to recognize these immense amount of work, thoughtfulness, and care that went into this budget process. First, I know I've missed many people, but I want to thank, of course, our County Executive James Williams, our Budget Director Ezekiel Vega, and the whole Office of Budget Analysis, many sitting back there, and our department leaders and employees who worked through an incredibly difficult fiscal year to bring forward a responsible and balanced $14.7 billion budget. I also want to thank my District 3 staff for helping me navigate this season that require hard conversations and painful choices. This is the most difficult budget our county has faced in decades. I want to say that behind every reduction, every restructuring, and every difficult choice is an impact on real people, our employees, our residents, and the communities we serve. While at the same time, we must be clear how we got here. While the stock market is at an all-time high, the budgetary challenges facing our county are not the result of any lack of discipline or responsible management, as shown in our AAA rating with many rating companies. They are the direct result of indiscriminate and thoughtless federal funding cuts of over $1 billion a year to our county, reduced state budget support, and slowing revenue growth, and rising costs that are impacting counties all across California. The reality is that counties are on the front lines of delivering these essential services. When funding is reduced for healthcare, behavioral health, housing, public safety, and other critical programs, the impact is felt directly by the people who rely on those services the most. This budget reflects the difficult reality we're facing, but we also reflects our unwavering commitment to protecting the core mission of Santa Clara County, which is serving as a safety net for our residents and supporting those who need us most. I also want to express my gratitude to our voters for the support of Measure A. That decision provided the critical resources that will help us preserve important services and immediate challenges before us. But as we have said, Measure A alone does not eliminate the need for difficult decisions. I also want to thank SEIU 521 for their partnership and assistance as we manage this daunting deficit, agreeing to no general wage increases in the next fiscal year. This selfless effort of our largest union helped tremendously and has not gone unnoticed. Thank you for the solidarity and selfless leadership of 521 and your members. As we move forward, we must continue looking for every opportunity to strengthen our financial position, fight for the resources our residents deserve, and build partnerships across sectors to meet the challenges ahead. In a region with extraordinary innovation and resources, we should continue exploring new ways to work together to support the communities that need it most. And this is why I've been strongly championing this idea of public-private partnership, P3. It's a practical strategy that allows us to stretch limited dollars further, meeting community needs, ensuring that essential resources and services are available to people who depend on them without burdening our general fund, money that we no longer have due to these federal cuts. To ensure this work remains grounded in the needs of our residents and communities, I've requested a preliminary list of these potential P3 projects, including programs and services that were reduced or eliminated due to this year's budget challenges. Even an early draft helps us identify opportunities to keep vital community efforts moving forward, preserve jobs, maintain critical services, and continue supporting residents who rely on them. I know this budget process has been difficult for so many, and I want our residents, our employees, and our community partners to know that every decision before us was made with a deep understanding of what is at stake. We may not have been able to avoid every hardship, but we've worked to make responsible decisions that protect our ability to serve this community now and in the future. There are so many more thank yous I need to make, and some has already been made, but I know I'm going to miss many, but I have to mention some of the following. My predecessor, Dave Cortese, who used to sit in this chair, without him having the legislation move forward for the 5/8 cents increase, Measure A would not have been possible. I want to thank our other members, especially calling out this Assembly member Clara and Aaron's, for their steadfast support over and over again, outside writing letters and inside closed-door negotiations to keep fighting for the funding we need to protect our hospitals and the services our county is providing. And of course, we cannot forget to support my own colleague, Supervisor Allenberg, who is currently serving no better time, the president of CSAC, fighting for us in Sacramento, so many weeks, so many days, to making sure that our county, not just ours, but counties all throughout California, is getting the proper and necessary funding, while the governor's budget and others are trying to cut. Thank you again to everyone who participated in this process, including our departments, employees, our labor partners, our community organizations, and of course the residents who share the voices and perspectives with us. This work does not end with the adoption of this budget. We will continue fighting for the resources our residents need, protecting these essential services, ensuring that Santa Clara County remains a place where every resident is protected, represented, and has opportunity to thrive and belong. And with that, we'll now adjourn for our final budget meeting. Our next Board of Supervisors meeting will be held on June 23rd at 9:30 a.m. next Tuesday, right here in the board chambers. Thank you very much to the members of the public who engaged, our OBA team, of course, department staff, our county executive and their staff, security, and my colleagues. Thank you. Meeting adjourned at 2:38.